Good morning, rise and shine. It is Green Nurse Sherry and Michele Morris time. Hello, everyone. It is time to wake and bake, but before we get this show on the road, we're going to start off with one of my favorite videos. Here we go.
We changed the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Cannabis that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
Growing in health, growing in cannabis. Right? I just love that video. I do say so myself.
I beam every time I watch it.
I know, it just gives me little goosies. But welcome everyone, rise and shine. We are here on Thursday, November 18th, Throwback Thursday, and we have a very, very special show for you today. I'm really, really excited to introduce my co-host today, Green Nurse Michele Morris. She's one of the nurses here at Holistic Caring. I'm going to let her introduce herself. I'm really, really excited to have her here. She has a wealth of knowledge, and I'm going to let her share herself, and I'm going to pull up something fun on the screen. So Michele, welcome to the show. Let everyone know who you are and what you do in the space.
Hi, so I'm Michele Morris. I'm wearing many hats as a nurse here in Massachusetts. I'm still working bedside nursing. I, as well, am sharing CBD sales and doing consulting with the Holistic Caring Network. One of the things that we're going to segue into today is using cannabis with pets. And that's a huge passion of mine. And that's pretty much how I got started, between using myself and then sharing with my foster animals.
Yeah. So you've got a great story too, Michele, as to even how you came into the cannabis space as a nurse. You still work in the conventional system right now. And will you just share with our viewers what you do? Because you wear a lot of different hats, not only in the conventional system, but also in the community and everything that you do, not only for patients, but for animals.
Right. So I've done a bunch of things at the bedside. Surgical nursing is what I am transitioning from right now into interventional pain medicine, which I've done in the past and I absolutely loved. And now I'm getting back to that. And so, cannabis and that marry beautifully. And I've been doing lots of foster care for a rescue group that I've been volunteering with since 2005. And about 3 years ago, I started to integrate CBD into taking care of my foster pets and my own pets. And I share CBD with my rescue network.
Mm-hmm.
And also just consulting. I am opening up a new door in my consulting business, and I'm adding pet consulting along
That's
with
great.
like human consulting.
Yes, yes, and that's gonna be great, and you're creating a program for us at Holistic Caring, taking care of animals and pets. It's really interesting too when you think about pets. There's a lot of people in the cannabis space that are new to cannabis that are more they do animal testing is what I call it, right? So people
Mhm.
will
That was
say,
me.
"Oh, I hear." Right, exactly, that's how you start, is that, you wanna see, oh, because animals don't lie. It's either gonna work or it's not gonna work.
Right.
And so people oftentimes see really tremendous benefits of using CBD with their pets, and then they're like, "Oh, wow, wonder what it can do for me."
Mhm.
So really, really good stuff. So we always start off with some hugs, and then we get into the nugs of the day. And so what I thought today I would do is, instead of pulling a card, I have a angel calendar. It's a little woo, but you know what? We all need a little woo. And November 18th, the messages from the angels today are: we give you practical advice about how to solve your dilemmas, remedy your hurts, and resolve your challenges. Right.
Mm.
So there you go. And so I like to look at this. I pair this along with cannabis. So oftentimes when I'm, utilizing cannabis and I get into that quiet, silent space, right, I call upon angels, help me, guide me, direct me, help me to show up today and be the best version of myself so I can help other people's reach new levels of wellness. So this is just a really good reminder that we do have help out there, and angels come in many forms, not only just the outside higher dimension realms, the celestials, but also earth angels and animals. So that's what's going
Mhm.
to lead into today. Oftentimes there's a
Right.
lot of amazing, amazing healing that can happen with our pets. And we're going to dive into that right now. I do have a couple cool stories to share about my own dog when he was alive and how CBD helped him. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the slides and we're going to get started, because this is a great presentation. And I'm really, really grateful that you created it. So here we go. All right. Ah, got to stream. Oop, no, that's not it.
So before we get started, while Sherry's getting the
Sure.
AV ready, is I want to just disclose that I am just completing a course with veterinarykannabis.org. I highly recommend this program. It's excellent. Gives a fabulous overview of the endocannabinoid system and how it pertains to pets. I can't recommend it enough. And so a lot of the content you're going to hear is from what I've learned from the course. Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, we all have endocannabinoid systems if we have a spine, essentially. So that includes, today I'm going to focus on dogs, but it includes pets and other, horses and all that. But the main function of our endocannabinoid system that we all have is to maintain homeostasis in the body, right? So
Right.
the system assists in cell to cell communication everywhere and also acts as a regulator of all our other body systems, right?
Mhm.
So it
Yeah, I love
affects,
that.
yeah, it affects the ECS affects our nervous systems and our immune cells.
Mhm.
And it's made up of these three components that you see here on the screen. So there's the cannabinoid receptors, the endocannabinoid molecules, and the enzymes. You have all three of those things working together in your endocannabinoid system. So these receptors in the ECS receive messages, and the receptors are two different main receptors that we're going to talk about today. So the CB1 receptors, and I think that's the next slide, Sherry. The
Okay,
CB1
got it.
receptors primarily are found in the central nervous system, and the CB2 receptors are primarily found in the immune cells. So you can see, like on this visual of a dog, where you've got CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors. There's a lot of visual learners out there. I'm visual. And
It's
so I
great.
really think a picture like this helps a ton.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and
Right?
here's another way too, if you think about when we talk about so just imagine, so here we have this amazing depiction of the dog, and it shows the difference between CB1 and CB2. So sometimes, I know when I looked at the human body, that was like, I was like, okay, cool. Go back to the umbrella concept. That can kind of
Mhm.
make it a little bit more sense. Just like, dogs have a physical body, we have a physical body. Just imagine the umbrella is the body of the dog or us. And the spokes of the umbrella are those different organ systems and the fabric pieces of the umbrella or the neurotransmitter signaling system. So the goal is to keep that umbrella going up and down easily and effortlessly, homeostasis, balance. And so this is a really good depiction too. What I'm going to do, I think would be really fun, is to have, the human endocannabinoid system, the umbrella, and then the dog, and then just really show how they are very, very similar, but there are some differences when it comes to cannabinoid therapeutics. Great slide.
Right. Yeah. So I love that visual, like, of Sherry's umbrella. So your endocannabinoid system, you want to keep it lubricated. So think of the rain, and you want to keep it, functioning in all different aspects.
Yeah.
So what are cannabinoids, right? So cannabinoids are actually molecules, compounds that interact with the endocannabinoid system. So pretty broad term, but there's two main molecules within the body that we're going to talk about, and that's anandamide and 2-AG. I don't have a slide for these because I'm trying to keep
Oh,
this.
sure.
And those are made in the body, right? And then
Yeah.
there's exogenous cannabinoids that are made outside the body. And those are like derived from plants or things that we make in the lab, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So two of the cannabinoids that you hear the most about are THC and CBD. And THC, which is also called Delta-9, is the major psychoactive molecule in the cannabis plant. And that binds strongly with CB1 and CB2. And it's used in treating inflammation and like uncontrolled neuropathic pain, neurogenic pain, cancer treatment, such like that. And then you have cannabidiol, which is the CBD that lessens the psychoactive effects of THC, prevents destructions of your own endocannabinoids. And that's used more in treatments for like chronic illness, immune deficiencies, stress, behavior, anxiety. So think about pets and think about where we're going with these, right?
Exactly.
So enzymes in the ECS, so enzymes are a substance in the body that causes a chemical reaction to occur. So they're like traffic lights in the ECS. Okay. So they're going to let the body know when a message is received and to stop production of more cannabinoids. And the certain enzymes that we talk about the most are FAH, so FAAH, that degrades the AEA, and the enzyme MGL that degrades the 2-AG.
Okay, cool. I love that. Yep.
So,
And the part that I love too, which we talked about before, is how CBD can help prevent the degradation, prevent that FAH enzyme from breaking down our own anandamide molecule, which is really good. The benefit of CBD. That's why we're gonna get more into why CBD would be so beneficial for dogs. So next
awesome.
slide. Am I on the right slide?
Yep, go. I think you've got a cup, maybe the next one.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay.
So people talk the most about CBD and THC, but when I share with people about cannabinoids, I'm like, there's like a whole alphabet. There's like 180 different cannabinoid molecules in the endocannabinoid system. And it's not just about those cannabinoids. It's also about terpenoids and flavonoids. So, one of the things that I'm learning, that I learned in this veterinary cannabis course, is that honestly, talking about CBD and THC is a little bit misleading when you're discussing products. It's better to lead with describing a product saying like it's derived from hemp, or it's derived from it's like a complex cannabis product, versus saying something is full spectrum or broad spectrum. We haven't really nailed down the exact way to uniformly discuss all these products, but you'll just know that you're going to hear about these things in many different ways. And still most of the sector, the sales sector out there is using like the term CBD.
Yes.
So the next slide, we'll talk about terpenoids. So those are other organic compounds. They're what gives plants their flavor and their scent. And I might have another slide on that too.
Yeah, I love flavonoids. They're really good antioxidants. And when we think about what is an antioxidant, right, it helps protect the cell. One of a really cool story that I like to share about antioxidants is, if you think about, oxidative stress, that's oxygen. We need oxygen, but when oxidative stress is one of the main causes of inflammation. And inflammation is one of the main causes of multiple chronic diseases and illnesses. So flavonoids really protect those cells. And, like you'd said, they're found in cannabis plant and a lot of other plants as well. So I love the entourage effect that you mentioned in here as well. The whole of the plant is greater than its individual parts. There's the complex molecular profiles of all of these different chemovars and chemotypes, are definitely far superior to isolates. And they do have those amazing, unique synergistic effects that we see, especially as nurses, when we're working with patients and how we combine different things to make a specific cocktail for patients. So yeah, good stuff. So so here we do. All right, let's see here.
Right. So we had a little, a terpenoid slide, and then we also had a flavonoid slide. And it's a lot to read, but just realize that all these different types of compounds work together. This is why you'll see most of the time you really want to use a full spectrum product, which means you're getting the flavonoids and the terpenes and the cannabinoids as they grew.
Yeah.
As they were meant to grow out of the ground into the plant.
Absolutely. And I love this slide here too. We talk about terpenes, Terpene Tuesday, and, terpenes are found in, other essential oils and plants, and terpenes give the plant its smell and its flavor, and it contributes to the entourage effect. So this is really great. Okay. Flavonoids. And then here we do, here we go. We have some more here. What's going on with this slide?
It's unlikely that you're going to be able to find products out there that will literally delineate what flavonoids are in them, but you may find terpene profiles on some really good quality products. Just know the flavonoids are there. They're just not quantifying them.
Yeah, really cool. Yep. All right. And then we have the entourage effect, which we talked about. The sum is greater than the individual parts, combining terpenoids, flavonoids, and cannabinoids all together. And all right.
So
great. Go ahead.
So knowing all this, you're going to maybe understand a little bit more as a pet parent. Let's say you're not doing this at all for yourself, but you're thinking about your pets. You're going to understand more that when you look at a product, you really want the product to be what's called full spectrum, or a complex hemp product, so that you have all these components in there because they're going to work better for your pet. Yeah. And, some of the things that they're focusing more on, like in the pet world, are cannabinoids like CBDA and CBG for different reasons. Should we go into that now a little bit?
Yeah, let's go into that. Absolutely.
So what I've learned here recently is that CBDA and CBG. So the full spectrum would be more of the gold standard. And I have this written out somewhere here. I've kind of made it complicated. Okay. So CBG is better than CBD when it comes to managing and preventing like muscle contractions. Think of pets, bladder issues, inflammatory issues, antibacterial effects will come from that. And it actually can inhibit cancer cells. That's CBG. Yes. You would never just take plain CBG. This would be like extra on top of
or a CBG dominant type of a tincture.
Right.
They're calling that a chemotype 4. So chemotype 1 is there's more THC than CBD. Chemotype 2 is equal amounts of THC and CBD. Chemotype 3 is more CBD than THC. And chemotype 4, which just came out in Cannabis, is CBG dominant, which is really, really good. And we just did a show actually on Wednesday on CBG. And I can truly see how CBG would be beneficial to animals for the mere fact that it is non-impairing. And so it doesn't have that psychoactive effect. But the thing that it does do, which I like CBG, is it helps to stimulate our own anandamide molecule. So that can be really, really beneficial with animals, right? So we know that we have an we create internal endogenous cannabinoids. And if we don't make enough of our own anandamide or 2-AG, what happens? Messages don't get where they need to go. So the CBG, it does make sense when you start to think about how this would be a really beneficial cannabinoid for animals. All right. So CBG, CBDA. Yeah.
So I didn't really go into too much about CBDA, but in general, you're going to see like those two main cannabinoid profiles accentuated in pet products.
Yeah. So here's the question. What are the concerns about THC with animals?
Right? So it can be done um, in the proper way, just like with humans, same thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that as a guide, a veterinary cannabis guide, which is the title that I gained from doing this certification, it is my job to first educate someone about the endocannabinoid system in their pet, in ourselves. It's all the same. Um, and so that people understand, what is a safe product and what can be very unsafe for pets. And yes, you can manage a certain amount of THC in a pet, but it's dependent on a lot of variables.
Right.
So really what's important is harm reduction when it comes to pets and THC. Keep your works that you use cannabis for away from your pets because they can actually become quite sick from,
Yeah.
getting into whatever you have laying around the house. They'll eat it, they'll lick it, they'll go in your trash and get, whatever you've thrown out. Be careful with that. And really reach out to someone like myself who also has a network of veterinary professionals. So they are veterinary professionals first who specialize in cannabis that can help guide you with how to integrate THC for whatever is going on with your pet, whether it's a dog or, a cat or a horse
Yeah.
or what
An
have
animal. Yeah.
you. And there's also other harm reduction things that I can share, like there are human grade products out there that look great and that have wonderful certificates of analysis, but they may have something in there that's really not safe for pets, like a chocolate flavoring, or maybe they're based
Yeah.
on sort of avocado oil, and that's really not good for pets. Or pets getting into gummies that have xylitol in them, which is extremely toxic to pets. Uh,
Wow.
so lots of
Wow.
harm reduction, and really need to focus on pet safe products. And
Mm.
that's kind of what I'm doing, is educating people on what's safe for
Yeah.
a pet. It's not always the same thing that you're going to take.
Yeah. So, yeah. And just like, same thing, just like as human beings with children, with people in the home, we need to keep it
Mhm.
safe, out of the reach, locked up. Bong water, roaches,
Yeah.
butter wrappers, edibles. I'll just tell you, I had a 10 I had a 10-pound dog, Mr. Helmsley. He was half Chihuahua, half Jack Russell, and he could jump up on the table, like jump up on the counter, and he could grab anything. Like literally took a corn on the cob, bolted off the table, like dragging a ham off the table. So, right?
Yeah.
So they get into everything. They're like little kids. So you have to be really,
Mhm.
really careful. I've seen some posts on social media of animals over consuming, and the owners feeling really, really horrible about it. And it's just, the good news is the animal isn't going to feel good, but the good news is like we had said, it's not going to kill the animal. You just got to keep safe. So yeah, so I think and the information too that you had said about vets, right? You have veterinarians that you work with, or
So this group, this veterinarycannabis.org, what I provide is a service to kind of overview the safety and help you pick out products. But when it
yeah,
comes to treating complicated issues or dogs
issues.
with multiple issues or
Yeah,
cats, um, we really need to pair up with a veterinary professional together.
right,
And so I
right.
now have access to that. So
Good.
veterinary cannabis counselors are veterinary technicians or veterinarians themselves that know how to do this safely with like the THC component and such.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. So we're going to have this program. We're going to be evolving on taking care of our animals, taking care of our pets. There's a lot of people out there, we love our animals. These animals are emotional support animals. And so, just like us, they have an endocannabinoid system, and how we can improve their quality of life while we have our little fur babies. So, Michele is going to be evolving on this pet program, and we're going to be offering this at Holistic Caring. And so we want you all to come join us in the group. Holistic Caring Network is off of social media. It's a network that's comprised of patients, providers, nurses, and professionals all over the globe. And what we do is we have a community that is uncensored, and we're providing you with multiple educational resources, free educational webinars once a month, free patient support group, free patients portal, a book club, Cannabis for Health, Become a Coach. This is the book that we're reading right now. And Elizabeth Mack wrote this book. It's an amazing book. It's a really great tool, handy dandy to have it on you. And it just goes over everything in detail. And so we're going through this book and being in the community. You don't even need to own the book to be part of the book club. How fun is that? Love that. Good stuff. The other thing I wanted to promote as well is we just launched Women in Health and Wellness. The Weed Mom, Danielle Simone Brand. I'm going to pull this up right now if I can. She just launched a program. So the Weed Mom is Book of the Year. She is a mom that is decreasing stigma around using cannabis in parenting. And so we just launched a new program. It's up on the website. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. If no, I'm not going to pull it up because I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. But anyways, I will put a link up. Really good program. Really excited. It just launched. The other thing that we have too as well, starting on Thanksgiving, Elizabeth, the CEO and founder of Holistic Caring, is putting all of the programs on sale for 50% off, which I think is a really great thing. All educational self-paced programs, not only for patients, providers, nurses, industry professionals. So definitely want to come into the community, want to take advantage of those special offers. So I don't know about you, Michele, but I think I'm going to have a pretty good day thanks to the...
I've got a full day planned. I'm out here on Cape Cod today, sharing more about CBD. So,
good. So what's going on? Green Nurse on the Go on Cape Cod. What are you doing?
So a Chamber of Commerce in Sandwich, Massachusetts is hosting a holiday affair. So there's over 20 different local businesses, and I'm going to be there representing myself and also the sales company that I share CBD with, which is called Green Compass. We share CBD for people and pets. We also have special blends of terpenes. We have terpene boosters and all kinds of interesting things that are unique in the CBD market.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to doing that from 3 to 8 today.
Excellent. Excellent. Michele, thank you for all you do. Thank you for creating this. Thank you for being part of the Green Nurses at Holistic Caring. She's one of our nursing supervisors. So if you wanted to book a consultation with her, all you have to do is go to www.holisticcaring.com and you can request Michele for a consultation for either you, your pet, or both. And so
sometimes my pet photo bombs my consults. Sometimes she jumps in and says hi.
Yeah. So thank you all for joining us. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have a special show. I've got Nurse Jamie Rollins coming on, and we're going to be talking about intimacy and cannabis and how we can sink into pleasure and being in our bodies. So yeah. So everyone have a fabulous day. Remember, it's all about living your best life and helping others do the same. We love you. Thank you so much.